Kara and I have something in common. We're going to break the news to you what it is.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
It's behavior, bitches.
Hey guys, it's Liat. Welcome back to today's episode of Behavior Bitches podcast. I have one of my favorite bitches with me today in the actual studio. This is the exciting. You guys may know this person because she's behind a lot of things you see on social media. Actually, everything you see on Study Notes social media. Mm-hmm. Kara, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
I'll have to add a review in later, but we are trying out this new thing of doing some mini-sodes, so we'll see where this one goes. Kara, we decided to do this episode, 15 minutes ago?
Yes. We were in the office. We're like, let's just do it.
Let's do an episode. We are actually running out to go to a PBA to set up our table there. Mm-hmm. But Kara and I have something in common, and we're going to break the news to you what it is.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. We both have
chronic illnesses. Hashtag immune compromised.
Yeah, we both have autoimmune diseases.
Yes.
Our immune system doesn't really work. Just so you guys, in case, I think it's important also before we get just into people knowing you as your illness, which we'll talk about in a second. Who is Kara?
So I am.
How did we meet?
Oh, so I'm a BCBA, but I took Liat's collective in summer of 2018. So before it got like what it is now. She was on a shitty whiteboard. Glary. Bad reflections. We kept saying, like, can you move it? Can you, like, move your camera, your light? But I passed on the first try, so it worked. Boom.
Swing.
And then I sent her a random email with, like, hey, so I passed the class, or passed the exam. Then a couple months later, I sent her a random email and said, here's a little jingle for Study Notes ABA. And then she replied back, oh my gosh, who are you? And basically, that's how I got back into Study Notes.
And she's been working with us ever since, right?
Pretty much like on and off, yeah.
Yeah, but no, you've been consistent for a while now.
Oh, yeah, now.
Like a few years, I feel like now. However, have you guys ever heard one of our ads for Study Notes ABA? It goes a little something like this.
Study Notes ABA, ABA in a little X-rated way. Something like that? I don't even remember.
A little F this, a little...
Shit that, a little sex within topographies. Yeah, you know what that means. So that was the jingle I sent her.
So grab your Cooper book,
your gel pens, your notepad,
and get ready to learn with some Skinner.
Oh yeah, Skinner.
That radical dude.
Oh, radical dude. See, I haven't listened to him forever.
If you guys ever hear that jingle, Kara made that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so fun.
So yeah, just that's also a point. Just go out there and do it. So I just sent her a random email. So whatever your dreams are, just send it.
The jingle. And we've had some music ideas since then, which I think we're going to get into. I think we're starting a band.
Maybe We've been wanting the ABA CD. So maybe, or it's not a CD now. I'm so old. Like.
Yeah. Track.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there with time. I love it. So Kara, you live where?
Ohio. Northeast Ohio, near Cleveland. Small town.
She's an influencer, an Ohio influencer.
Oh, gosh, no.
She literally has gone viral with her, like, this is life in Ohio videos.
Yeah, transplant Midwesterner. That's what I call myself. Because I'm originally from Los Angeles. So now I live in a very small town. Like Amish buggies around me.
Actually?
Yeah.
Do they make furniture and stuff?
Yes, they have amazing,
right?
furniture. And, delis.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So Kara really liked me because, first of all, I was a great teacher. But also Kara said, growing up in LA, I had a lot of Jewish girlfriends. And that's what I'm missing. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, here I am.
And I found her.
And we have just been
loving
each other ever since then. Kara's the easiest person to work with. Just all good things. But Kara and I, again, we both have chronic illnesses, which is something that I think maybe when I used to tell the story in class, I resonated with.
Yes. Because you said studying, you were like in the hospital, super sick, and you still did it and made it. So when I was studying too, I was super sick. I have Crohn's disease, so digestive disease, if anyone doesn't know. And I was in and out of the hospital, diarrhea all day, every day, studying for the exam. And so yeah, it helped hearing that someone, like, because I wasn't sure if I should test, or I kept being like, should I push off my test? And I was like, no, Liat said she did it with like fingers freezing off, so I can.
Wait, can you tell people what Crohn's is?
So basically,
Operationally define it.
yes. So what people don't know, some people are like, oh, it's the shitting disease, and kind of, but it can actually affect you from your mouth to your butthole. I guess anus, the correct word. So like I can have sores in my mouth as part of like Crohn's.
Ulcers?
Technically. Yeah. So,
Lupus also has those.
So basically like your whole digestive tract can be affected, and I've had different parts. My main area is where my small and large intestine meet. So that's, I've also had surgery there. But yeah, so Crohn's is just a whole, like, that's why it can be complicated, because it's your whole digestive tract, which is involved in like tons. So
Do you have issues with digestion itself?
yes, so I can't like absorb certain vitamins things. So I take like B12 shots, extra supplements, but I get really bad like heartburn easily if I eat certain things.
Dude, that is my new thing as part of,
Heartburn.
apparently as part of the scleroderma. It's like,
Oh.
I have like such like it's so hard for things to go down. Like they get stuck.
Like feel stuck, yeah.
Because it's like apparently like tightening of the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who doesn't know, I have lupus. I also have scleroderma, fibromyalgia. The thing is this. Let me tell you one thing about autoimmune disease that we're talking about. Once you have one, you'll be like, oh, now it's affecting this part of your body. So now you have this. But like lupus kind of covers all of it because it's like systematic.
Yeah.
But it seems like just the idea of any auto meaning self, immune disease, meaning your immune system is not working correctly. It's
attacking
It's
itself.
attacking itself. So it's overactive, attacking the wrong things, which is
Yeah.
very annoying and also can affect you in that you get sick easier than other people because your body's so active attacking itself. It's not recognizing that there's a cold in the air. And so
And then the meds you're on can make you
meds-
more immunocompromised. So
are you on immunosuppressant drugs?
yes.
So the drugs they put you on exactly are things to make your immune system not work so that it's not so overly active attacking itself. But then when you're making your immune system not work, think about when your kid comes home with boogers, you get those boogers and some, right?
Or it hits me harder, I
Hits-
swear.
yeah.
Ever since
Totally.
I've got, yeah. And on the certain meds, like way sicker.
So let's talk about life before having a chronic illness. So how old were you when you were diagnosed with Crohn's?
I was almost 19, freshman year of college. But did you have any signs growing up of like lupus or like notice anything? Because now looking back, I did. But I was curious if you did.
You know, I don't know because, again, lupus is like literally could be any part of your
True.
entire body. So it's like, I remember I did a gap year in Israel before I went to college. And during that year, I like always had this like back pain. But again, lupus could be like back pain. It could be a sore throat. It could be your
Yeah.
elbow. It could be your hair falling out. It could be your, like ulcers in your mouth. So like I was like, oh, it's just the mattresses in Israel. So like I remember my dad coming in like to visit for one of the whatever, and we went to like it wasn't like Amazon here, so like
Yeah.
it was like getting an egg crate. That was like the thing.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah,
for
the egg
college,
crates.
for your
Yes,
bed?
yes.
But I had to go to like a special like orthopedic store because it was like not in America, and it was like I had this like pain all the time, which I don't know if that was related.
Yeah.
But my lupus onset was like so sudden.
How old were you?
I was 22. I was a junior in college.
Okay.
I took a gap year, everyone. That's why I was there. Oh, and I left college for a semester because I was depressed. I came home and did CBT. Yeah, so I was 22. I heard my dad had cancer. I got a call from my parents saying my dad's cancer had come back. He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma before that. And I heard it came back, and I was like, fuck. I had gone for a 7-mile run that day. I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up unable to move my joints at all.
Wow.
Yeah, so I literally, the next day, it was like, there was like an antecedent, I'm telling you, it like triggered it. It was like in my body or something, and like the stress.
that-
I literally woke up the next day, I couldn't open my doorknob, couldn't move my hands. I was in so much pain, did not know what was going on.
Yeah.
Was yours sudden like that?
Kind of. It took a while. So like looking back at childhood, because when I got diagnosed, so in a freshman year of college, the doctor was like, oh, have you ever had issues with like eating and stuff? And growing up, my parents and my whole family always joke Kara has the rumbles. So we thought I was like allergic to like oils eating out and stuff. And then one time I remember running across the street in 5th grade and I diarrheaed my pants. And it was so shocking to me. I was like, oh my gosh, diarrhea just like came out because I was late for school. And that like never happened, but that happened twice in my childhood. So like there's signs, but we didn't think of it, right? My parents were like, oh, it was upset stomach. It wasn't like interfering with my life. But then when I went to college, of course, when you go to college, drink, the lifestyle's usually not the healthiest, or at least,
Yeah, you're drinking.
for me.
Eating shit.
I started to get really bad like stomach pains, diarrhea a lot. Mainly like my stomach kept getting distended. Like it wouldn't go down. You know, like when you eat and you get bloated, but then the next day it's like down again or like back to normal. I just kept getting like, it was distended. It was like stuck almost.
Like pregnant?
Yeah, I looked pregnant. And I was wearing all these flowy shirts. Thankfully that style and like
Went
in like where
and then like a waist
here.
belt up
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So luckily the style helped my Crohn's belly, but
Having Crohn's nowadays is what people are wearing. Must
oh
be
my
very
gosh,
hard.
like the cropped. Oh my gosh, I couldn't. So, but yeah, they took 5 doctors though, because again, they saw a freshman college girl they just always said, you're pregnant. I'm like, nope, not possible. They said I was full of gas. So that's why I
That's true. But
I mean, kind of true. So they put me on like gas pills all the time. And I had to actually fly to a different state to get diagnosed. I went from the airplane, or the airport to a hospital, and they did a CT scan, but doctors refused. They never scanned me for like, it took 5 months.
when you finally get a doctor that figures it out
Mm-hmm.
and has that philosophic doubt as one of the dimensions, right? That like healthy skepticism, like something doesn't seem right here.
Yeah.
And you figure it out, there's no greater relief.
Oh yeah. He could instantly CT scan. He like, yep, it looks like Crohn's, because they had to also verify some tests, but like, it was just like so quick, and it was a relief because I knew something was wrong.
Mine also it's hard to diagnose because like lupus is so many other things. I also
Yeah.
had these like really sore throats, which is not really necessarily the lupus symptom.
Yeah.
But
I'm
like
sure
I think
that-
it was just the overall inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Did they put you on steroids immediately?
Oh yeah. I was on steroids. I started some other Crohn meds.
Is your face like a circle?
Odd thing, it didn't, I think, because so then I stayed at home for that summer, my controlled environment. Basically, my mom made me all the food. So I was like eating really healthy, and I actually kind of lost a lot of weight. I think because I wasn't drinking, eating unhealthy at college. So I didn't really get the moon face in, but I have. And nowadays I feel like I'm more sensitive. So when they say put you on a round of like prednisone, I'm like, uh-oh, the moon face. But
The moon
it's
face.
temporary. So I always remind
Right.
myself that. Yeah.
So let's go to how your life went in one point in college to another, because I know mine like literally changed overnight. It was like,
Yeah, like once you get diagnosed. So yeah, that summer. So it was my.
I mean, and by the way, my diagnosis did not come the next day. I just like was ill from that point on. So like
So
in
how
and out
long-
of hospital.
Oh, okay. So who finally like? How long did it take you? Because
And
mine was like
also-
5 months of like.
Yeah,
trying.
I don't even, it was a lot of months. Also, like it was like I was living in Maryland, which like I didn't have family there. So like it's like you don't have like family. It's like hard to get it, like to get into a rheumatologist that's who like treats
Oh,
lupus takes forever because think about it. When you have a patient and you're a rheumatologist, you have them for life.
Yeah.
So
and you
like
have to
it's
get a
not like you're like
referral.
getting people in and then like oh like yeah I'm
Yeah.
helping like with a fertility treatment, you're in and then you're out. It's like you're literally there for life.
Yeah.
So to get in, you kind of like wait for a new rheumatologist to.
Well, and you have to get a referral. So if doctors aren't going to refer
Yes,
you.
it was. So that by the time I finally got in and got a diagnosis, I was like doing work from a hospital bed, really
Yeah.
sick, really sick.
But I also think you're just like, I don't know. Or I always made excuses. Or when the doctors would say you're just full of gas, I'd be like, okay, maybe I am. And I'm like, maybe this is just how it feels. And so I would like delay, and then I would get more sick. I'm like, wait, no. So like sometimes too, I even do that now. I'm better now. I don't know about you, but I used to like not go to the doctor for a while. Be like, I'm fine. It'll go away.
So I've always been a good student with doctors. Like, and
Oh, I've been the
one
worst.
area of my life that I actually follow directions is with medication and doctors. Like when people are like, oh, I got an antibiotic, but I just don't really take it.
Oh,
Like
I'm
I
not.
will take it rigidly.
Yeah.
Like medications for me.
I wish I was like, so that's my problem in college. I got back to college after that summer of healing, and I was the worst patient ever.
Really?
Actually, one doctor said he will not see me again. I remember I was like 20, and he's like, I will not see you again unless you start taking this seriously. I was just like half-assing it. I would like take my meds, and I would be like, I'm fine.
So obviously you weren't coming into contact with the.
No, and I was always
contingency.
sick like all of college.
So you felt sick even on them. So it wasn't like you didn't feel the immediate reinforcement.
I just don't think I ever took it long enough because I didn't follow like.
And some of them need time to like kick
Yeah.
in.
Mm-hmm. And now like the newer Crohn's drugs, like they more immediate. Like back then it was just pill form still. So it like took a while, but like I was the worst
Do
patient.
you get infusions?
I used to. Now it's a self-injection.
Okay. I did infusions for a while too.
So now later, like when I got older, I mean, honestly, probably like 10 years after I've had Crohn's, I finally started taking meds and seeing the reinforcement of like, oh, I do feel better for long term.
What type of reinforcement is that?
Positive. No, negative.
Negative.
Because if I'm feeling sick, just like our Dilaudid love. Liat and I both love Dilaudid.
Totally. Love it.
Like when we're in pain, you go to the hospital, you're like Dilaudid now, because that's my biggest negative reinforcement is like, give it to me. And
so
all
with
goes
these
away.
chronic illnesses, so what Kara was saying about the medication, it's the negative reinforcement, right? Because you're in an aversive state, you're in pain, and then the removal of that pain makes you take the medication again in the future. So taking it again is reinforcement, and the removal is what makes it negative reinforcement. But Kara and I joke because like even now, like working together, we'll randomly, one of us will be like, yeah, I'm in the ER now, I'm in the hospital, whatever. And like our text will be like,
Dilaudid.
yeah, I hope you get good Dilaudid.
Yeah, or we just ask like, did you get Dilaudid yet?
Yeah, because, so that's interesting. Talk about MOs, motivating operations, and like the last place I would ever want to be hanging out on a regular day would be a hospital, right? Especially like I'm a germaphobe. I know that I get sick from everything. The last place I'd want to be is a hospital until
you're like
in a lot of pain. There's an increased amount of pain. That's one of the unconditioned motivating operations, like increase in pain. And suddenly there's nothing that seems more valuable than getting into that hospital. And that's an establishing operation.
Like sitting in an ER sounds awful. But when I'm in that moment, I'll go to like, what's the closest ER? Like,
Literally.
get me there.
Oh my God. And so we always talk about that moment that, like when I go in, sometimes I'll be in horrible pain. Like I don't know where to put myself. I'm like, how am I even going to get to the ER?
Yeah. No, I've had people drive me, or I've driven myself, but I highly suggest someone driving you.
I've taken myself.
Yeah. But it is true. Like when you're in there, just like the negative reinforcement, the MOs, the SD too. Like
the hospital is always there, but in that moment, that SD is so valuable. It's signaling like reinforcement available here.
And especially if like the ER's like looks empty, I'm like, oh yeah, like this is it.
Dude.
Because I've passed by ERs if it's too long. I walk in and I've walked out because too many people a long way. I'm like, nah.
I know. That's like
I'm not going to wait.
You can't wait.
Because there's also been times where, they don't believe you, or I've had to wait extra amount of time.
I've had to so that's been completely conditioned to me, like hospital behavior. I'm like, okay, it's not a good idea when I take myself. Number one, it seems for some reason, like obviously, like understandably, they have to do their due diligence. Like, is this person here for real or not? I do think the fact that I've lost fingers has helped them take me more seriously.
Yeah, now that I feel like I say I have Crohn's for this amount of time, I've had bowel obstructions is like
you
my
hold
main,
up your scar?
My symptoms, surgeries. Then they're like, oh yeah. And now they see it on my file now that I've been in like a stable place. I've moved around a lot. So now like my hospital file there is like
initially
longer.
It's like this young person coming in, blah, blah, blah. You kind of learn like how to navigate it.
Yeah.
And even like...
Or certain words to say.
Yes.
That'll get you reinforcement, kind of like, oh, if I say this, they're like light bulb kind of, they kind of look at you like, oh, okay, she knows what she's talking about.
Exactly.
So I've learned
but
like
you can't
language.
ask directly, because then it seems...
Yeah.
Unless you go somewhere like where they actually know you, they see you have like a history that you're getting your treatments regularly. But when you get that Dilaudid...
No, and I've had a doctor, I said, I'm having a bowel obstruction. I'm a very calm person. So I don't come in frantic. Like my first bowel obstruction, I was like, yeah, what the hell is going on? And very dramatic.
What's a bowel obstruction?
When your bowels close off. So I've had twisting of the bowels, or like my inflammation got so much that it closed off. So basically, once I start throwing up, that's also my sign that I'm having a bowel obstruction.
Because it has nowhere else to go?
Yeah, so you repeatedly throw up. It's extremely painful. But I know now like what is happening, right? Because I've come
That's
in contact.
a CMOR signaling things are about to get worse.
Yeah.
Does the pain usually get worse after that?
Yeah, like the pain, like once, like it is.
So that's probably going to get you to the hospital then.
Yes. I should actually go before. Because now I know the feeling, the more and more I like find the signs, I'm like, it is going to happen. But I've had a doctor, like I told him, but I stay very calm. And I'm like, hey, I know I'm very calm right now, because people with bowel obstructions are like, especially the first time I had it. I mean, I was so dramatic because I didn't know what was going on. So much pain.
It's scary, yeah.
So I was like, I need Dilaudid. I just asked for all the things and he denied. He's like, because he didn't believe me. He was like, I don't know, let's do a CT scan. We can't really give you Dilaudid.
And then they lay you on that CT thing in pain. It's like nothing worse.
And then it came back. He's like, I'm sorry, you are having a bowel obstruction. I'm like, I know.
Kara, 101, you don't say, I need Dilaudid. You don't go in and say that. You're like, I'm in a...
I did say it with a lot of people. I was like, I know I'm having I need Dilaudid. But yeah.
That's like...
I know.
Dude, come on. Rookie mistake.
Okay.
That's like Martha returning things on Amazon and saying, like, didn't need anymore.
Yeah.
And then they charge you, you know? Conditioning, baby.
I was just happy that he said sorry because he was very rude to me. He's like, he didn't believe me.
Can we talk about, like, the amount of time when you're waiting in that ER? Like, when are they coming back to me? Like, I'm in agony. Don't know what to do with myself.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just like, I don't know. Sometimes I've actually, one time I was pregnant thinking I was having a bowel obstruction. I was 6 months pregnant and I waited 9 hours in the ER for a pregnant lady. I was shocked. And I had to go back. I'm like, hey, like, wasn't that kind of crazy? 9 hours for a pregnant lady who says I have Crohn's and may have a bowel obstruction? Like, what if...
I think they need OBM in the hospital there. Like, how are they going to decrease the latency from the time someone comes in to when they see them?
I know. And pregnant. So, like, I went back.
Like, were they giving you fluids or anything started during
No,
that
they
time?
just kept checking my vitals, like, every 4 hours or whatever, waiting. But then...
That's happened to me, too. And they're like, their vitals aren't... My vitals never read because my fingers are so cold that, like, I literally... It's like, same joke. Are you alive? You know? And it's like... Well, shouldn't you do something to figure it out?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, we're good. This actually happened 2 days ago when I was in the ER.
I didn't even think of that, like your fingertips.
They literally don't read. And I'm like,
so how do they...
I tell them, I'm like, just use my second toe. My toe next to my big toe
toes,
on the left foot has the best circulation in my whole body. It's like, they're like, no, let me try. I'm like, I'm telling you, and this hospital is fucking freezing. You're not getting any reading. They do it.
Yeah.
I'm like...
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. It's all these things. Like, that's the other thing with a chronic illness that no one understands. That you are thinking of things that no one else would be thinking of.
Yeah.
For example, packing for a trip.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I personally have every medication you could possibly need for anything. Whether it's a steroid in case, whether it's like...
I brought my pain pills. I brought like...
Dilaudid,
so many
things.
Case. Yeah.
Whatever it is, like in case of any of these things.
Because I know what's going to help me or give me that negative reinforcement right away if I'm not like at home or, you know, like available to like an ER or something.
Like there's just so many things you're thinking. Like I'm always envious of people who are like, yeah, I'll crash on your couch tonight. Like they don't think about anything. Any meds they need, any this, any that. I'm like, imagine that.
Or even me like flying. So diarrhea is my life. Like the day of flying. So yesterday when I flew here, like I barely ate because thankfully, fingers crossed, I've never had a diarrhea on an airplane. That's like my biggest fear.
Knock on wood,
is going on diarrhea on an airplane because I refuse to even go pee in an airplane bathroom because I hate it. So
I'm so petrified. That's why I keep Kobe in a diaper even though he's almost 4 because every time we're about to potty train him, I'm like, I don't want him using the bathroom.
Yeah. So
I fingering
purposely
everything in there. I'm sick.
So is that like manipulating antecedents? Me not
it's like I don't feed him for 3 days before. I don't know, he's so fussy, but whatever.
But so
Jokey complainers.
So like like I even traveling, I like notice what I'm eating, what I can't eat, just to hopefully not have an issue when I'm on the plane. I don't care about diarrhea after the plane. I just not gonna have it on the plane.
Literally nothing worse, and you know someone's waiting outside the door to use it after you.
Yeah, I actually don't even lock the if I have to go pee, I tell the flight attendant I'm not locking this door because I'm also like claustrophobic. So I
leave it open?
No, I like just don't latch the lock. All the
like
just
that little move makes you feel less claustrophobic.
Oh, it makes me feel like there's an out. So like, and all the flight attendants I was like, hey, I'm not locking. Can you watch it? And they're just like, that's fine. So that because the light doesn't turn red, so someone could easily. But I won't.
They're gonna think it's an SD that it's available. It's not gonna say vacant. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
I know, but I don't go to the bathroom unless there's a flight attendant SD at the front of the bathroom, and then I'll go so I can tell them. But if there's no flight attendant there, I will hold it until someone comes up. So I can tell them I'm not locking it.
And I touch everything with like paper towel. Like nothing actually touches my hand when I get in there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'm like petrified.
I should be more petrified of germs.
I feel like you're not as germaphobe as me.
Like, no.
Oh, I'm like so scared.
It's behavior, bitches.
Hey, Behavior Bitches listeners. I just wanted to remind you, in case you're looking at how to study for the BCBA or BCABA exam, at Study Notes ABA, we have the entire collective to help you pass the freaking test. If you like what you hear here over on Behavior Bitches, trust me, it's better at Study Notes ABA. We take you from start point to end point of everything you need to know for the test. We take the notes with you over 12 weeks. We also have video bundles if that doesn't work for you. Our next collective is starting July 7th. Now, if you're watching this later on and this is no longer relevant with July 7th, we are always starting new collectives. And now you might notice that we have some new names because all of our collectives include the pairing pack and the ultimate collective notebook. All things to make your note-taking and studying fun. Head on over to studynotesaba.com and we have it all there waiting for you to pass the freaking test. All of our collective packages have had a glow up, as you may notice. They have more mocks in them, more content, more activities, all things you're gonna want. And now you can get $50 off if you use coupon code BITCHES. That's BITCHES. Head on over to studynotesaba.com. It's time to pass the effing test. Since we're like doing this kind of short, I do want to talk about, like, I do think because like I'm open about having a chronic illness, that more people like come to me and be like, oh, by the way, I was diagnosed with this or blah, blah, blah. Like autoimmune diseases are trendy.
Well, I think more and more people are getting diagnosed and that's how like my friends, they always come to me with their like poop questions and stuff because I think, or I'm just very open about it. Or they're like, hey, what is this? Or I'm having this, what do I do? So
something I want to talk about, what are something that what are the most frustrating things having a chronic illness that someone who doesn't wouldn't understand?
I think for me, everyone, like, again, I've been in a meeting. We had like a professional development day at my old company. Like, I look fine. And I'm a very, again, calm person. I had a bowel obstruction through a whole day. I knew it was happening. I knew I was going to the hospital after. So I think sometimes because you don't see it, these aren't ones that like, especially Crohn's, like they don't see what's going on in my digestive tract. And like you know, like we work full time. I mean, you own a business and like we just get through it, but we may not on the outside look like we're like dying. There's some days where I'm like physically, my bones and muscles hurt because I'm so fatigued, especially if I'm in a flare. But like I go about my day and I don't think anyone has any idea. And I think that's
no idea. And I think people are like I remember a big reason why I actually started my own company is because I was so embarrassed of telling them all the time, like, I'm sorry, I don't feel well, I can't come in, blah, blah, blah. And it was like it'd be like, I really just like, I don't feel well. Like, I'm talking sick. You know, they'd be like, none of us feel well on Monday. We're all hungover. I'm like,
it's hard.
I fucking wish I was hungover. I wish I could like have a drink and like have that be the reason why I feel sick.
I think it's just
like, no, I literally got 16 hours of sleep last night and I'm here and I feel like this.
I think it's just knowing there's a lot of internal things that like you will never see or never know, like your fingertips, right? They're cold. They can't read. Like I would not know that unless you said that.
Right.
So I think that's the hard part is when you're in it, especially if you don't have any family members or something, you can feel very alone. Like, or I know I went through a big thing is like, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want people to think like, I want people to feel sorry for me or like I felt ashamed to talk about because people would think like, I'm just being like, oh, my Crohn's So I held it a lot, but I think you should express it. Like, I am feeling very tired. And I'm a lot better at that, especially like with my husband, now having kids. I have to say my body is shutting down. Like, I need to go lay down. Or before I would just push and push because I didn't want it to like, I don't know if it was affect me or people to think differently of me.
Or I'm always like oftentimes, and even like if I'm like at my parents' house, I'll be like, Dad, can you like get this for me because of my hands? He's like, can you shut up with your damn hands? Just like ask for it and don't put that in. I'm like, I feel like I have to because I feel like it seems like I'm just lazy and I'm not getting something myself, you know? Like, would you mind getting this out of my car or whatever it is? So like,
I don't know. And it too, like now being a mom, there's some days too, like I had to be okay with like, it's okay if they're kind of watching TV today when I'm having a really like tired day, you know? And my husband's not home. And I'm
on
alone.
days that you have energy, you try like overdo it. I do.
Oh, I do. I'm like, where are we going today?
I'm like, we're going to get ice cream and then we're going to go to Nickelmania. It's going to be so fun. Oh my God, Kobe, let's go. And then later I'm like.
I think too, a lot of people with autoimmunes, we push through it more than people think. And like, I don't know, be a little more graceful. Like when we say we're feeling sick, it's true. And I think, I don't
realize it's really sick.
Yeah. Usually. Like it's usually like, at least for me, it comes to a point where I'm like, I have to stop or I'm going to end up in the hospital or another flare.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Totally.
But you can also do great things. Like,
I just want to end it with that. So like, I think I remember initially being diagnosed and thinking like, and like doctors like, yeah, you're never going to run again. You're never going to do this. And you start being like, oh my God. And then you join support groups that are showing you like how bad it's going to get and like blah, blah, blah. which I would recommend not doing that. I'm sorry.
I don't actually.
They become like their identity. They sign off like Liat sex, comma lupus, comma scleroderma, comma fibromyalgia, comma.
Yeah. I've never, because it's never defined me. Sometimes I truly forget I have it until like a friend or family member just goes like, oh, how's your Crohn's? I'm like, oh yeah, it's good. Or
the bathroom reminds you.
Yeah. Or yeah, when I eat too fast, I'm like, oh shit. Like I literally have to shit my pants. But no, I think that's the important part is I really don't let Crohn's affect. Like I got diagnosed and I always looked at it as a fact. I was like, okay, cool. That's what I have. Like it's never been more than that. And yeah, when it was affecting my life, was it interfering? Yes, but I wasn't taking care of myself. That's the fact. I was eating shitty. I wasn't taking meds. So there's all these, once I got those and like with reality, I don't know. I just don't let it affect me that way or thinking I can't do stuff.
That would be my biggest takeaway also for someone who like is newly diagnosed with a chronic illness. And I would tell you, number one, the beginning's the worst when you're figuring things out.
Yeah, it's going to be a little like
the
rough
first 5
patch.
years were like rough. I'd say that. Second, I'd say I remember being like, no one's going to want to date me. I have this illness, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? All that.
Especially that I poop a lot. That was like my biggest, I was like, oh, how do I tell him like I poop a lot? But thankfully, the funniest story, okay, how I met my husband, I'm going to give you advice if you have Crohn's or digestive. You just say it the first time you meet him. I accidentally did. I was speaking at a Crohn's conference as their guest speaker. And he was like, do you want to go to breakfast the next day? We met at a bar, okay? It was like late at night. He's like, do you want to go breakfast the next day? I was like, no, I'm speaking at this conference. And he kept saying, what conference? And I was like, it's like for a pharmaceutical company. And he's like, but for what? So I didn't want to because I never had. And I was like, I have Crohn's disease. He's like, oh, my college roommate had that. He shit a lot. And I was like, yeah, that's it.
me.
And that was the first, and now we're married. So I'm just saying you could just get it out there.
No, I agree. So that's my thing. Like I remember being like, how am I going to, it's all about how you tell people. If you present yourself as being like, so I have this disease, I don't know how long I'm going to live for. I don't know. It's really bad. Like lupus, I got my fingers freezing, blah, blah, blah.
No,
you're scaring them. You're selling them that narrative. Okay.
Yeah, and you're making it like this is my life.
Exactly.
And there's so much more.
When you present it as like it's this thing I have, the same way like I don't know, growing up, I remember a girl at school had diabetes or something. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my thing. I check it however often. This is what I do. I mean, that's how I present it. I'm like, yeah, I go to the hospital sometimes. I repump on fluids, and I'm at work the next day.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a fact. Okay, I have Crohn's, you have lupus, or like the things. It's just yes, it's part of you, but
Like you have Crohn, you have lupus, you have acne.
it's not everything. Because
You have a shitty mother-in-law. Like that's what it is. Everyone
Yeah.
has some shit they're dealing with, and this is yours. So, I think something I'd want people to leave with is give people grace.
Yeah, if they have one, know that it's so hard to. You can't see what it actually feels like. Like, yeah,
And if you want to try imagine it, and you want to compare it to a hangover, take that and then run yourself over by a semi.
Oh yeah,
truck.
there's days like and a lot of times we hide it. Like we show up, we keep doing things because we want more in life, and I think we should. But I also, if you have one, definitely listen to your body though. I pushed it way too much.
Listen to your
And
body.
I was in and out of the hospital way too much because I also didn't take care of myself and pushed it. So slow down.
Slow down. You'll still get the stuff done, and just remember, you could do amazing things. I couldn't imagine being where I am now
Oh yeah.
with everything, and so I think that's all we have for you today.
Yeah.
We wanted to do short. We got short.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
There's so much more I'd want to talk about.
I know.
but
We could
for
talk
another
all
day.
day.
But we have to go set up for APVA now. So anyways,
All right.
Kara, thanks for coming. I absolutely
thank you.
adore you. And for anyone listening, you know where you can find us. You can find us on our Instagram at Behavior Bitches Podcast, Facebook at Behavior Bitches Podcast, our website, behaviorbitches.com. We're also asking that you guys reach out to us on behaviorbitches.com and send us topics or anything that you'd want to talk about. Or it could even be life's dilemmas that you're dealing with. Maybe you're dating someone with Crohn's and their bathroom issues are really bothering you. Let me know. I'll give you feedback from my personal, beautiful brain of what I think you should do. I'll be the bestie you needed. So that's all I have for you today. As always, love ya.
Mean it.
Hey guys, I am here with Carrie Ann and Connor for our new segment called BCBAs in the Wild. And it is all about BCBAs who are doing cool things outside of the typical spaces that we see BCBAs. So today we have Carrie Ann and Connor, as I said, and they have started something very cool. And Carrie Ann, if you could tell us a little bit about Beyond Distilling.
Sure. So I am a BCBA. I've been a BCBA for about 10 years, and I worked at a clinic for a little while, and then I opened my own clinic. And over the course of owning a clinic, I realized that there is not a lot of support for that aging out process when we turn 18 to getting older. If we have a disability, there is a large discrepancy in what are options for people for jobs. There's obviously like coffee shops and grocery stores and very minimal choices. So in a night out rambling discussion, we were discussing how it's not fair and how angry we all are that that is something that's happening, and then also the judgment that people with disabilities feel going out and having a drink. Like my sister can't come out with me and have a glass of wine without getting a little side eye from somebody next to us. Or if you have a physical disability, it's even worse. So the judgment, along with some alcohol fueled rage, kind of turned into how do we problem solve this this situation. So my oldest son, who has autism's godfather, Tyler, owned a distillery in New York, and he kind of became part of that conversation. He was trying to leave to open his own distillery, and I was basically like, I know how to run a business. I don't know how to run a distillery, but I know how to run a business. If you want me to start that process, I'll get you going down here on how to operate, get a license, get insurance, all of that. You just distill, and I'll make this mission a part of the company. And him and his friend Ryan moved down not like 2 years later, and here we are. That was in 2019. So 2025, 6 years later, we have 2,000 barrels and a 13,000 square foot building, and a shift leader named Connor who's gathering everybody together and making sure they do their job over in the bottling room.
Incredible. And where are you guys located?
We're in North Charleston, South Carolina.
Amazing. So are you still working in the clinic space or not?
I am. So I still own it. I was at the clinic all day yesterday. I try to do both. I feel like it's a great way to reduce burnout, because days that I am having a harder time, I just come in here and it helps my mental health. But yeah, I do both.
Very cool. And Connor, I want to ask you what it feels like to be running a business that has a real purpose behind it.
Well, I think it's very awesome that we are giving people with disabilities working to be able to work, and I just feel like I'm a part of something that could be absolutely like global, and I just feel like I'm just a part of something that Carrie created.
We all created.
We all created.
Wow. So what does your day look like, Connor? Like when you're managing everyone?
Well, I wake up at 7 in the morning, get dropped off here by my dad that works around here. And I just make sure like, is everyone fine? Everyone's cool, and like everyone's happy. And then I just like, if someone's having trouble with something, I'll come in there and like, hey, this is how I would do it, like step by step and all that.
And
That's incredible.
you learned how to proof down bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to do sales orders now. You can operate a forklift. Not confidently, but we can.
I don't know that I'd be confident with that, but managing people is not easy. I'll tell you, I really struggle with that still. So
Connor does a good job.
Thank you.
So Carrie Ann, I want to know from you, how does your background as a BCBA help you run a business?
So I think that everybody should have some sort of background in understanding human behavior before they get into managing humans, whether or not they have different abilities. So that's just a personal belief. I don't know how people do it without that, especially in a world where employees are expecting more of that compassion and understanding. People will leave if you treat them like a number. So understanding the contingencies that keep people happy, it just makes it easier to run a business where people are wanting to stay and enjoy being there. If you are just a number and you're just looking at the profit margins, it is very difficult to manage people who are growing up in a world that want to be treated better. So if you've ever managed Gen Z or Gen Alpha, you're gonna have to have an understanding of what keeps people happy. We don't have like the same systems in place as our parents and grandparents. So I think it's very beneficial. I've been teaching a lot of people in our management and in my clinic as well, just how to utilize the systems that we're learning to work with children in the clinic outside of that. And I feel like it's just important in general.
Definitely. I mean, I feel the same way. Just generalizing those skills too. I mean, and unfortunately, what I see a lot is a lot of people like know how to do it with like a client, but when it comes to like staff or like business or like people have difficulty generalizing it. So I love to see it done. I kind of feel like I'm watching, honestly, like a Shark Tank, a little bit of like when they do like the update episode and you guys are on the other side, like sitting with the things behind you. That's
Yeah,
exactly
where we are now.
Yeah, incredible. So, what's one thing that you wish more business owners understood about inclusive employment?
One thing we try to do is be a model for other businesses. So what I wish people would understand is that there is no like staffing crisis. Like there are enough people to fill jobs. There you just have to be more accommodating in your approach. It is not hard to understand that somebody might need, right? Like James needs his walker.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's not hard to know that he can do his job while sitting. And I've even seen that in some grocery stores now. They let the cashiers sit down if necessary. So even just letting business owners know there are small accommodations that can be made to open up your staffing crisis, as they're calling it. But also that people are just significantly more capable than our society thinks. If you just have to maybe train a little bit longer, our training process is about 3 to 6 months, depending on the person, right? So if you think you can get somebody in 2 weeks and get them ready and independent in their job, that's great. But just letting other businesses know if you put in the time for training and put in accommodations that make people comfortable, you are going to have staff retention for significantly longer, and your turnover will reduce because you've invested upfront the accommodations and the understanding of what that person will need to succeed.
You know, it reminds me back to we did an episode with I need to think of it, but the author of who wrote Winning with Underdogs, and it was all about like we're missing this like amazing group of individuals who could be part of the workforce, and he actually had created an entire like call center that was based on like all different, you know, like all differences in employment in terms of whether someone had like severe anxiety and couldn't leave the house at certain times, or you know, like some kind of physical impairment or whatever it was. And it was like, you know, and you also hear these incredible stories about, you know, some of these big companies taking these initiatives to hire maybe individuals on the spectrum, and you know, and they're their best workers they ever had in terms of reliability and showing up and following protocol. And I think that you doing this, I really hope like sets the model for so many other people. And with that, something I want to add is I have a brother on the spectrum with an intellectual disability, and all he wants is a job. And the same goes for another guy that I've been like, I was like with him in Partners PE years ago in high school, and he calls me like at least once a week, Liat, do you know a job for me? And he is now probably 39, I think. And what you're doing, I just want to say, like, I really admire you. I see how important it is, because like having a brother myself, as well as seeing these individuals who just want a purpose as well. Like,
And a community. Like we all like to say we go to work and then we come home, but every job I've ever had, I've made some of my best friends. And to exclude that part of like the social experience of going to work, making friends, and those becoming lifelong friends, there's an entire group of people that don't get that ability. So yes, it's pay, equal pay, consistent work, and also just accommodations that make somebody feel like their contributions are giving to society, as like they try to frame it. But also there are these social constructs where the only people I see during the week besides my family are my coworkers, and they keep me
right.
going. And so that's some of the things we do here is to make sure like we have water gun fights, karaoke.
Yeah.
We try to go get lunch every now and then also. So just kind of opening up the relationships for our coworkers here to be able to do what we're all doing and go to work, make friends, and then go out to lunch and ramble about how horrible work is. Like everyone,
Yeah, isn't that what we're all living for?
that's not all what we want to do. Like it's just
Yeah.
ramble about how the world is crazy with our friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone deserves to work.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone deserves to work. Everyone deserves to have a job too.
Mm-hmm. And be treated kindly, right?
Yes,
You were
yes.
so stressed out when you were at other places and they would,
Yeah, and they treat me like a number.
yeah. So
Wow.
I think that was another thing too. That was really important because it increases your confidence to be able to advocate for yourself. I've seen
Yes.
you and everybody else after they've been here for a while know how to advocate for themselves in a way that before it was how do I try to blend into this job so that no one calls me out for my differences, and now it's like no, you're going to understand why I need this accommodation. You're going to listen to me about why I need to take this 15-minute break after we just played a song way too loud. So there are different things that like we have seen personally that have been really cool, which is the ability to advocate for yourself and be okay with telling a job this is what I need rather than hiding away.
Incredible. And what's one of the most unexpected challenges that you have found since launching Beyond?
What do you think?
Ooh.
I know, because ours are probably different, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's like everyone's personalities? Like whenever we bring on somebody new, it probably getting used to everybody's needs. Yeah, so that's definitely I could see on the bottling side, and Connor as a shift leader being something is whenever we bring someone else on, there's a learning curve of figuring out, okay, we've had the ability to do this, but this person might not like when we scream karaoke for 30 minutes. But but for me as the owner and doing more of the operations, it's I get into our world pretty deeply. I'm like, oh, we live in this inclusive, accommodating world. Everyone around me kind of believes the same kind of things. It is when I step out of that world where I start to hear comments that I am like, oh, I've created a world where everyone is inclusive and understanding, but that is actually not what's happening out in society. So when we first tried to get liability insurance, we were denied by everybody. And then our broker is actually Kate, who we will meet here in a little bit. Kate's dad, who works here, is an insurance broker, and we basically threatened a discrimination lawsuit because our investor is the kindest man on the planet, and he was like, "What do you mean you were denied?" Because of hiring people with intellectual disabilities and autism. That doesn't make sense to me. Just here's my lawyers, do whatever you need. And just threatening a lawsuit, all of a sudden it was like, oh, that's not what we meant. We can absolutely give you insurance. And it's different things like that. That's like, obviously, if you have a gross motor delay or there are issues in the way you like I'm thinking of James uses a walker. I'm not going to let him walk on something slippery because he might fall and hurt himself. But who engages in the most dangerous activity here?
Matt.
Tyler and Ryan, right?
Yes, yes.
So the owners of the company, who are two very able-bodied people, are probably the ones engaging in the most dangerous activity, but liability insurance just assumes they have the cognitive capacity to follow the rules. But our staff in the bottling line is significantly more likely to follow safety rules than the owners who like to climb on these barrels and do things that are very dangerous. So that was something for me that I found incredibly shocking, but also not surprising. It was like, oh, you actually, with your words, told me you were discriminating against an entire group of people and you were fine with it. And then we'll have people come in and say, like, you have alcohol around people with disabilities. We're like, yes, they are all over 21. It's like, yes, but that's not okay. Like, well, we have adults with disabilities who are on medicine and know they can't drink and they're using their individual advocacy for themselves not to drink. But then we also have, you like bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay likes bourbon. Why can't they also advocate for themselves and know when.
It's like these lines people have created in their head.
Mhm. It's the
And
internalization, right? Of just that we're not realizing our age ranges are 21 to 48. No, we're not breaking any laws. They're not breaking any laws. Don't act like able-bodied people aren't capable of over drinking and getting themselves into trouble. So why are we allowed to do that, but an entire subsection of the population is not able to experience those things and learn their own abilities? Like, how much can I drink? How much, when should I stop? So it that has been
basic contingencies will teach someone that.
exactly.
Reinforcement and punishment.
So, a hangover, right?
Mm.
Some people learned that they don't like coming to work with a hangover, so they don't drink the night before work.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I have like ADD and all that, and I mean, I like to drink a little bit, not like a whole bunch.
Right. Same. So that's just what I have seen has been the biggest hurdles for me, and then just bringing new people on and getting to know them over the course of 6 months to figure out that their accommodations are working, I would say.
I think that's what I've seen as any business struggle. Like anytime someone new comes to a team, like the dynamic immediately is like one way. It's I think that's just like across the board.
Yeah. We try to be just like any other workplace. We're not trying to glamorize it. We're also not trying to minimize what we're trying to do. We really are trying to just, hey, if we're a distillery and we could do this model, anybody can do this model.
So with that, what advice would you give to other BCBAs who want to think outside of the clinic?
Honestly, just do it. The idea that this place exists shows that if you have an idea, you just have to have a really good team around you that supports you, and really push for it. So this wouldn't exist if I didn't just one day get our tax ID and say, we are doing this. Tyler and Ryan both thought it was crazy that I just went online, registered us with the Secretary of State, and I was like, we are going to do this. We had no backing. We had just an idea. And there are going to be people that support you. And if you're a BCBA and you want to go into the space of opening an inclusive business, partner with nonprofits locally, because local nonprofits have been trying to do this pretty consistently. So we partner with almost every nonprofit that is involved in advocacy for adults with disabilities, as well as like job coaching. Like these nonprofits that have existed a very long time, and all they've been doing is looking for places to place people with disabilities. And I would say partner with them, and also just have the confidence to know that if you have the right people around you, you can get out of that like specific cliche of BCBA in clinic working with kids with autism, and you can never leave.
1000%. And something you had said earlier, like I feel like everyone should have some behavioral background before doing any job. Like I really do feel like it is a superpower if you understand like how to apply these things. Like you had said, like understanding what different people want, like the idea of being able to pair, like build rapport. Like BCBAs, if you're listening, you could generalize your skills. You could write a task analysis. You're good at analyzing data, like all things that businesses need.
Right. People do see it as a superpower. They think that I can like see the future of what's going to happen, but the world is very linear. Things happen, behavior occurs, and then there's a consequence, and then that behavior is most likely to continue occurring. So, yeah, I think more BCBAs need to be out in different fields teaching people how to be
1000%. All right. Can I just ask one last thing? Can you give us a little bit of a tour?
All right.
You wanna, I'll carry and you give the tour. Where are we?
Well, we're in a little kitchenette area.
Mm-hmm. We use the barrels as walls.
That's what we do at our office too with our pallets.
So this is what, 13,000 square feet. We have about 2,000 barrels. Those have been aging for anywhere from 2 to 10 years. Tyler and Ryan were able to purchase back their bourbon that they made up in New York. And then we have our fun little vats of bourbon over here that we proof down with water. Well, we It's Connor. I don't do it. And then,
It's got its own
do
pedestal.
you want to warn everybody that I'm about to come in and tell them to say hello?
Hey, y'all are gonna be on podcast.
You say hi? Hi.
Hi, everyone.
So they're doing rum today. So, Matt has arrived. So there's some gin over there, but we are packaging up some rum today.
Wow, incredible.
Kate's wearing the coolest shirt ever.
Yeah.
This is Lee. Lee is our manager.
Hi.
So Lee from the school.
Hi, Lee.
Yeah,
She was working with one of our
I'm
staff.
her right hand man.
Yeah.
It looks like you guys are having fun in there.
Yeah, and Matt's about to walk in, maybe.
I feel like I'm there. This is incredible. You guys having fun?
Yeah. Yes. You don't have to lie either if you're not having fun. You can tell her.
We're having a blast. Putting on music.
Oh, we're about to play some music. Okay.
Oh, good.
All right. All right.
Music helps the vibe.
I'm gonna.
Incredible.
Hey, Matt. You want to say hi? Cool. Like, please.
Hey.
But that's.
He's like, I just walked in. Give me a second.
I just walked in. Please give me a minute. But yeah, that's everybody. Well, not everybody. It's everybody for today.
It is so incredible what you are doing. Seriously, keep up the incredible work.
Thank you.
Again, as someone with like a sibling and so many people close to me, thank you for the work you're doing. And creating like such purpose and meaning. And just really thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
letting us talk about it. We're trying our best
So,
over here.
when I heard about it, Aaron, who had spoken to you, was like, this is a cool one. This is really, really cool. So
Yeah.
I'm stoked. You could find Beyond Distilling on Instagram at Beyond Distilling Company and their website, beyonddistillingcompany.com. Head over and check it out. So where can anyone find these spirits or gain access to purchasing?
So we're right now distributed in 8 states. We are in New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Houston, Texas, Wisconsin. I'm missing one, but we are also available online. So we just launched a store that will ship to anywhere in the country. So if you go to our website, you'll be able to try any of our products. We have bourbon, tropical gin, and coconut rum. And then we did do a limited release rye this year. So all of that will be available, and it's $25 for shipping anywhere. So that is how everyone should get their Beyond products.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
It's behavior, bitches.